Okay, we're going to talk about some proper care with your hats and what to use and what not to use. Out in front of me I have two brushes and a sponge. Those are probably the most common things to use when cleaning your hat. You would use a brim, this is called a crown brush, a sponge, and a brim brush. Okay, so the short bristle brush would use what you most commonly see when we come to a show. I'll see them in hat cans and stuff. The bad thing about carrying like a brush in your hat can is it may slip around and it may distort the brim. It may sit up on the brim wrong, because I know traveling down the road with the hat can or hat in a box that it bounces around and the brushes get moved around, so they might sit on your brim and then it distorts the brim. So the best place to carry your hat brush is somewhere not in your hat can. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of show you a little proper way to use these hat brushes that we have in front of us. The big bristle brush, I use it to knock off the big part of the hair, or the big dirt and stuff off the deal. And you always want to kind of go, they say use it counterclockwise, but you're just knocking off the big dirt, so you're not really hurting anything by just brushing it off, okay? If you've got some dirt that's really kind of into the brim, you would use a brim brush, and you can really kind of sweep the hat and sweep the dirt off of the brim of the hat a lot easier. Okay, so the sponge we're using today is just a dry sponge. You don't want to get that wet because we don't want to put anything build anything into the fur of the hat. But you use the sponge just like you do a brush. You would just knock off the big parts of the hat, the big dirt off the hat, and you would go it counterclockwise. And you can use the same on the brim and the crown. It's not going to matter. But if you use it counterclockwise, because that's how the fur is spun when they build the hat, and you're not going to hurt anything with it. Now, somebody was asking about what do I do if something gets on my hat. Let's say you're going to the pen and a pigeon has an accident on your hat. Well, the first thing we do is, the best thing to do is just take it to the water fountain and try to get water and try to get it off of there as fast as you can. You don't want it to dry because they will set in there, and if it's a light colored hat, a lot of times the acid from that will discolorate the hat. So the best thing in the world to do if you get anything on your hat is use water. Okay, the question is what happens if I get something on my hat that I can't get out? Well, the best thing we do is just ship your hat to us and let us determine what is in there and if we can get it out or not. So you can either email us at shorty@shortyshattery.com, or you can give us a call on our 800 number at 800-853-4287. And then you can kind of tell us what you got in your hat. We may be able to kind of walk you through about how to get it out.